I think a lot of folks go too short. This is just on the cusp. Like, I wouldn't want it any shorter than this. This is where this shift throw right here, that's perfect. In front of me, we have two identical 2017 Honda Civic Si's. When the Honda Civic Si came out, this time around, we also had the Type R in the lineup, which meant that the Si maybe got a little softer than it used to be. One of the big complaints that I've heard from this car is that the shifter feel is not quite up to the typical Honda standard. So the real comparison today is going to be between some very minor modifications on this car, which just has base bushings and centering spring, whereas this car has a full Acuity shifter kit, and Powen is going to give us more information on that. But first, let's just take a little walk around and check out the Civic Si. The first car we're going to take out has just the base bushings and the centering spring for the shift kit. So this is also my first drive of the Honda Civic Si. We've done some reviews of the Type R in the past, and I really like that car, except for the fact that it's expensive. So I have a feeling that more folks are going to be buying these because they're nearly half the price, and they have potential for performance. I think the Si got a little soft in this generation, mostly because the US was gaining the Type R. Turbo comes in, a little bit of lag, makes nice whooshy noises because he's got an intake. These all seasons letting me know they're there. The only thing I'll say about this shifter that I don't quite like right now is it feels a little tinny. It's like, it's there. It doesn't have quite the feedback that I get out of, say, the Type R shifter, which I know is asking a lot, but that's really where my complaint would be with this. Engagement's really nice, but it's almost too easy to put into gear, if that makes any sense. The rev hang in this car is a little frustrating, and the clutch pedal is super light. It's maybe the lightest clutch pedal I've ever felt, and it makes it a little tricky to figure out where it's actually gaining traction on the flywheel. Now this noise, I'm hearing like a little, I think, let's go into fourth.
Yeah, so that is something that I think is a small mechanical feedback in the transmission. It's just translated forces.
Okay.
So it is a shortcoming of the stock system that even I recognize with my parts too. It's like, it was consistent. It didn't really change too much.
Honda, for me, has always been known for having probably the best gearboxes in the business. So when people kind of started having a little bit of gripe with this gearbox, I was surprised. You know, Toyota's always really notchy, and you've got to be pretty accurate with your placement and your revs. Honda always felt a lot more natural. Like, you just didn't even have to think about it. It just worked. This gearbox right now, compared to, say, like an 8 Gen Si, I think the 8 Gen is probably a little beefier. It has a little more of a mechanical feel to it. this is almost there. And what we're going to find out when we go to Powan's car is if the rest of this Acuity system is going to make a difference in enhancing that feel. Yeah, I'm curious if your car does the same thing. So I'm going to do it again, a third to fourth. Just listen. It's just that little bit of
extra little,
yeah, and it's not something that I'm feeling. I'm hearing it. Like,
yeah.
It's just like, why is that there?
That's why, like, there are a lot of plastic components in the system, so it's like little, even in the winter, like all these little noises and rattles are a little bit more enhanced, I feel. But I mean,
yeah, so there's like just little rattles, nothing crazy, but it's not what I expect from Honda. It's a good shifter feel, but there's definitely some plastic that just definitely lets you know you didn't spend $40,000 or $50,000 on this car, which you didn't, so that's fine. But I think we've held Honda to such a high standard for their gearboxes for so long that now we expect it every time. All right, so let's go switch cars. We're gonna go get into Powan's car, which has the full Acuity shifter system, and I wanna see if this, basic mod is gonna enhance the drivability and feel of the Honda Civic Si to make it feel more premium. Now, we're in Powan's car. Once again, this is not his big turbo E36, but this is his Honda Civic Si, his daily driver, and he has worked on making it a little more premium feeling with this Acuity shifter. And right off the bat, you can feel the difference. I can tell that it's shorter and a little more direct. So, my real comparison with this car is going to be against like the Civic Type R, because I think, yeah, you're not going to get the suspension and the power of the Civic Type R, but it would be really nice if your SI kind of had some of the driver inputs and feedback from, something that you're touching all the time that is more like the Civic Type R. It's a warm day up in Boston, so we're going to turn the AC on. It's deja vu, man. Way shorter shift. And it has taken away any plasticky feeling. Okay, so that is impressive right off the bat. Like, I wasn't sure. I've driven a million short shift kits, right? And this is kind of game changing. It is short, especially like that 4 to 5 throw. I can see where you maybe now we're like, okay, we could mess up a gate.
I got the coffees held on to.
All right. No, the other thing here is you're gonna see me shifting a lot, and because I'm really just comparing the shifters, so don't worry, I don't drive like this. I'm not just like running through gears constantly. That would be obnoxious.
Like it's not Fast and Furious.
Yeah, here's 9 gears. Yeah, you can hit that heel toe. So you've got a pedal spacer on here as well.
Yeah.
See if we can get the tail out a little bit. No, the tail's pretty planted. It'll definitely understeer before it oversteers. There's that rev hang.
Nice.
Oh, can we catch the Buick? So this pedal spacer, I know we're talking about the shifter. Powan put a pedal spacer on the throttle, so it's actually a little closer to where the brake is. It feels so much better. I can actually reach it, and that's a beautiful feeling. So super easy to heel toe. There's the bump, the thunk. Coming in, not hot, just taking our time. I want to feel what these tires do. Yeah, it'll understeer before it oversteers for sure. So if you did like a sway bar on this, maybe you'd get a little bit more rotation. But okay, so I have not even come close to missing a shift. I'm pretty happy with the feedback of it. It makes the car feel a little more together, composed. Definitely has more of that Honda feel, but it's definitely, this is even compared to Eddie's 8th Gen Civic, which is that one that nobody believes has 280 horsepower. That shifter is fantastic, and this is nicer without being too short. I think a lot of folks go too short. This is just on the cusp. Like, I wouldn't want it any shorter than this. This is where this shift throw right here, that's perfect. So everything in this shifter now is like solid, right? I mean, can you explain a little bit about what this is?
So what I have, the parts in the entire kit, or what you just saw, was a throttle pedal spacer. I also have cable bushings that replace the rubber bushings at the transmission. I have solid metal components that replace plastic rocker arms that control the gate spacing. I also got an extender in the bottom that reduces the forward back throw, which you just experienced. In addition to that, I also have the centering spring and their solid base bushings that pretty much secure the entire shifter assembly to the chassis, the stock shifter assembly to the chassis. And all these mods essentially reduce a lot of the shortcomings of the stock plastic components, which is what I was amazed by when I first tried out their products.
More Civic Si off-road experience, winding road exclusive.
Hey, turn traction control just to whip it around.
I don't know what this costs, but if it's like a couple $100 or, you know, under $500, I'd say this is something I'm touching every single second I'm driving the car. You know, I'm always going to be shifting. I'm always going to be doing this. We're going to drive like normal people now and just actually drive. But you know, this is an interface with your car that you're constantly interacting with. So if it's relatively cheap, I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to change this.
It's not going to be more than a couple $100.
Yeah. So
everything.
We'll see what that looks like. Maybe we can have Acuity comment below or something like that. But yeah, this is a nice upgrade, and it ties the car together quite a bit, because steering on this car is fantastic. I like all the feedback. The only thing, obviously, I don't really love this clutch, but that's because it's kind of just it's an economy car, guys. Come on, you're gonna have a light clutch. We don't want grandma to hurt her leg when she's driving. So but the shifter was just kind of a shortcoming in the car, and it wasn't bad, but the problem is, if you ever own a Honda Civic Si and you drive your friend's Type R, you're gonna be really mad. So this at least gives you a little bit of that feeling.
I can vouch.
Yeah, because you did that with Eddie's car, and it was such a bummer. If you guys want to see more install and review videos on like how this whole thing came to be, go over to Powan's channel, Pow Winning. You guys can see the link in the description below, and I'm sure he'll be commenting and responding to folks in the comments here who are either nice or not. My name is Tedward. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Here's Powan. You guys remember Powan. You remember him from his E36 turbo,
yeah.
the big turbo.
I can't believe it hit 1 million views.
1 million views, and a lot of angry people. Some people really hate your tattoo. I'll tell you that much.
Come on, like